What do you want me to say, Lions fans? You've seen this movie before.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, here we go, everybody. Post-game pod. It's the Postcast. Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. A Sunday, September 25th and a Monday, September 26th. Lions have a pair of 10-point leads today in Minnesota. They blow both. And the Vikings come back with a minute to go, get a late touchdown to KJ Osborne. 28-24, the Vikings over the Lions today. We welcome you in. Matt Dery with you. Lions dropped to 1-2, and let's just say it right away, right here, right now. The coaching failed you guys. Dan Campbell failed the fans, and Dan Campbell failed his team today. Plain and simple. And after the game, he owned it. We're going to get into all of that today. We're going to hand out game balls. We're going to talk about the offense, the defense, the coaching, the late decision to kick a field goal. And have Austin Seibert try a 54-yarder with a minute 10 left. All of those things. We're going to get into that coming up on the show today. We are brought to you by our friends at BetOnline. Today's episode sponsored by BetOnline, where they have you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. You can follow us on Twitter at Dery Speaks, D-E-R-Y Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, the Matt Dery Facebook fan page, and of course, we are on YouTube. Hello to everybody watching on YouTube. We are here. We are live and direct. Let me fix my camera here. And we are with you and bringing you this postcast today as the Lions dominate at times today. Led 14-0. Lions look good. Led 24-14 with 8 minutes to go. And they allowed Kirk Cousins to pick them apart late. No pass rush. Amadio Ruarie, 6 penalties. Why is he still on the field? All I heard about during training camp in August and September, early September. Will Harris is battling with Jeff Okudah. Will Harris is neck and neck with Okudah. Well, why isn't Will Harris on the field? Amadio Ruarie had 6 penalties. Get him out of there. What are you doing? The Lions should have won this football game, plain and simple today. They were the better football team. How did Minnesota pull this one off? They got some rookie coach. Come on, man. The defense did a heck of a job today on Justin Jefferson. You hold Justin Jefferson. Where are the numbers? You hold Justin Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in the game, to 3 catches for 14 yards. And you lose? And it all starts at the top. The offense was fine. They ran the football. The passing game was okay, despite Amon-Ra St. Brown having an ankle injury. DeAndre Swift obviously is going to be banged up every week. The guy's always hurt. But he was gutting it out trying to play. But late in the game, Lions leading 24-21. 3rd and 14, they run the football with Jamal Williams. They get to about the 36-yard line. Here comes about a 54-yard field goal for Austin Seibert and daring and dangerous Dan Campbell, the Danimal, MCDC, who goes for it on every 4th down, every situation. This time decides, let's burn a timeout to think about it, which was dumb because they needed that timeout late in the game. And then, or later in the game, and then he trots out Austin Seibert, whose career long is 53. You're going to ask him to make a 54-yarder on the road? His counterpart, Greg Joseph, missed 2 long field goals. Seibert missed a field goal earlier in the game. You either punt the ball with a humongous weapon that you have in Jack Fox and pin the Vikings deep, or you go for it again and you get the football in the hands of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Bad ankle or not. Instead, he trots Seibert out there. The field goal wasn't even close. And then the Vikings come down. Mike Hughes, hoping for safety help over the top, wasn't there. KJ Osborne beats him for a touchdown, the Detroit native. And the Vikings win 28-24. The Lions got the football back, but had no timeouts left. And Goff tried a Hail Mary late, and it was intercepted by the former Wolverine, Josh Metellus. This is a bad loss, folks. Plain and simple. The Lions led 24-14 and gave up 14 unanswered points to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins isn't good. But Diesel, he was the highest paid quarterback once in this league. He's been in the Pro Bowl. Give me a break. And when this defense needed a stop, it didn't get it. And by the way, when the offense needed to put their a foot on their necks, they didn't do it either. 4th and 1 earlier in the quarter, they run a delay and almost like a counter play. You're asking Jamal Williams to get 6 yards on a delay? And you don't think Eric Hendricks isn't going to sniff that out? Dan Campbell always goes for it on 4th down. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense. Then the one time everybody wanted him to go for it at the end of the game, he kicks a field goal. The clock management at the end and the timeouts being burned. Bad. Jared Goff was dealing today. And you put the game in the hands of Austin Seibert. Goff finished 25 out of 41 for 277, 1 touchdown, the late interception, passer rating of 79.0. So it wasn't great, I guess. I thought he was looked pretty good. But first half, Ben Johnson, he was schooling Ed Donatel, the Vikings defensive coordinator. Mix of run and pass, play action, the rollout pass on the play action to the left to TJ Hawkinson. Why not go back to that? Why not use that play again, misdirection on 4th down, and put the game away? Then the defense at the end. Oh, everybody talking about Aaron Glenn. He's going to be a head coach one day. There was no safety help on the touchdown. It was the easiest throw in Kirk Cousins' life. And oh, by the way, he had all day to throw. Kirk Cousins today was sacked once. The Lions' D-line is not good. All right, I know Aiden Hutchinson had a huge game last week, and he had some pressures today. How many pressures did he have today? Aiden Hutchinson today had 1 pressure, 1 quarterback hit. He didn't have a single tackle, by the way. The Lions' defensive tackles don't do anything. They called Aleem McNeil's name very late in the game. But other than that, you don't hear the names McNeil, Brockers. You don't hear their names. Bugs, you don't hear their names. Lions allowed the Vikings today to run for 123 yards and average 5 yards a carry. That's not going to win you games. But again, they were in place. They were in the right spot. They were on pace. They were there. They were in a position to win today. And then at the end, just brain farts by the coaches. All of them. Lions fall 28-24. It is our postcast. I want to tell you about our friends. Yeah, I'm not happy about it. They should have won. What about our friends at BriteCo? BriteCo Jewelry Insurance. The guys at BriteCo Jewelry Insurance are unbelievable. Make sure you get a replacement for the full value of that ring, watch, whatever it is that you lose. You don't want to be that guy, and you certainly don't want it to be splattered all over the internet. All right? So if you got a ring or a watch or some jewelry that's lost, stolen, you can't figure out what the hell happened to it, go to brite.co/locked-on. It's the fastest and easiest and cheapest way to cover your butt with the best jewelry insurance in the business. These guys at BriteCo are geniuses. They made buying insurance for your engagement ring, your watch, or whatever is so friggin' easy, you can get covered in 2 minutes on your cell phone. You won't find a better deal and great coverage that's super affordable. Brite.co/locked-on. The whole experience is amazing. It's easy. Watch the videos on the website. It's awesome. Brite.co/locked-on. Postcast right here on Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. On today, a Sunday, September 25th, I saw the Vikings win 28-24. Kirk Cousins to KJ Osborne, the game-winning touchdown. Lions had no timeouts left, about a minute to go. And that sealed the deal today for Minnesota as the Vikings improved to 2-1. That's not even a good Vikings team. 45 seconds left. They came right down the field. Lions led 24-14 with 8 minutes to go. And they were just messing around. messing around. Couldn't put them away. Then got the ball, got too conservative. They also made some mistakes today. The penalties were brutal. Oruwariye, 6 times penalized. Josh Reynolds has a touchdown catch. It's right there. He's running down the field on the right sideline. Goff puts it there, and he lost the ball in the sun. I know they're going to say Amon-Ra St. Brown's ankle. They're going to say DeAndre Swift's ankle and shoulders and all these things. But you got to finish that game. The Lions have talked for an entire year about how they're not going to be like last year. They are going to win these games. They're going to finish these games this time. This was 2021. This looked just like last year. Is the team better? My voice is cracking. Is the team better? Yes, it is. Look at the depth along the offensive line. Dan Skipper moving bodies at left guard. Love the move by Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson to have Evan Brown at right guard today instead of Stenberg. That was fine. That was good. You see more depth in the receiver room. But at the end of the game, the coaching decision making, and Dan Campbell owned it. He said today after the game, I regret the decision to kick the field goal. I cost our team. Yeah, you did. You did. At least he owns it. Huge mistakes. Punt the football. You got Jack Fox. Pin him deep. Make Kirk Cousins go 70 yards to get a field goal. You gave him a short field. Then you didn't rush him. Then you didn't get home. Guys didn't make enough plays. You got one stop when Oruwariye was wrestling with Thielen, but then you gave him the ball back again. You can't do that. Clock management at the end. The timeouts that they blew in the fourth quarter today. That's on the coaching staff. The Lions were the better team today. They were. Lions outplayed Minnesota today. Justin Jefferson, the guy's all world. What a job Jeff Okudah did today. He'll get a game ball. But what the heck was some of that today? My goodness. So frustrating because it was right there again. Jamal Williams had a couple of touchdowns today. You got to wonder about DeAndre Swift. He's just always hurt. And he's a special talent, and he's really coming of age, and they need him, but he's never on the field. DeAndre Swift today carried the ball 7 times for 31 yards. He caught 3 passes for 15 yards. He was targeted 4 times. But Jamal Williams got the bulk of the carries. So they got to get Swift's ankle right. If it means sitting out next week and then getting the bye or whatever it is, they got to figure this out. Actually, the bye is not for 2 weeks. You got Seattle and Dallas coming up. And look, season's not over. I'm not telling you it's over. They're going to get Minnesota again, but you let this one slip away again. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his streak of 8 catches in a game is now over. 6 catches today, 73 yards. Gave it a go, did the best he could on that. He injured his ankle early in the game. But to me, on some of those decisions late, the 4th and 1, where the awful play call and the counter play to Williams where he got stuffed. The 4th and 4, that's when you got to find number 14. He's the money man. He's your guy. And they didn't do it. Too many mistakes today that led to this loss. And like I said earlier, they couldn't cover tight ends today. Johnny Munt had a big day. Irv Smith caught a couple of balls. They're asking a lot of this defense that, quite honestly, isn't that good to have to make play after play. And the coaches should know better. All right, game balls. Let me do that after I tell you about BetOnline, betonline.net, your number one source for football betting info this season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis and articles on every game you can find. As always, BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting and up-to-the-minute scores for every sport out there. The fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, and golf, is at betonline.net. Go there now. Use your mobile device or go to the website to learn more. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. Matt Dery with you. Postcast. Lions fall to the Vikings today, 28-24 on a KJ Osborne touchdown pass, blown coverage in the secondary. It was an unmitigated disaster. And Mike Hughes, Manio Ruarie, Tracy Walker got hurt, by the way, so you had Juju Hughes out there. He actually wasn't bad. But on that last touchdown pass to KJ Osborne, where he was alone on the right side of the end zone from 28 yards out, there was nobody within sight of him. Nobody. Game balls. Here's who's getting game balls. Number one, I'm going to give a game ball to Jamal Williams. I thought he played pretty well today. 20 carries, 87 yards, couple of touchdowns. They flagged him for excessive celebration. I guess the Hingle McCringleberry hip thrust touchdown celebration was worth an unsportsmanlike conduct. But I thought Jamal Williams ran hard and did everything they asked him to do today. He gets a game ball. Also, game ball today going to Jeffrey Okudah. All right. Today, 3 tackles, 2 solo, 1 pass defended, and he did a fantastic job on Justin Jefferson. You never even heard Justin Jefferson's name today. Okudah's coming of age, and that's huge for the secondary. I thought he played pretty well. I do. I thought he played pretty well. Gaines Media poster boy, shout out to Robert Banker. Alex Anzalone gets a game ball today. I thought he played pretty well. 10 tackles, 9 solo, a sack, a tackle for a loss, 2 quarterback hits. I thought he was good today. I think the Lions linebackers are getting better, Anzalone and Rodrigo. The problem is the guys in front of them. The D-line is a no-show, especially the interior of that D-line. You never, ever hear the names Brockers, Buggs, or McNeil, ever. Brockers today had 1 tackle. McNeil today had 1 tackle. Buggs today had 2. The Vikings were able to run right up the gut all day on the Lions. I don't know why they didn't do it more. Now, Wes Phillips, their offensive coordinator, got lucky because they kept trying to throw stuff downfield when the middle of the field and the Lions' run defense was pretty soft. Lions only had 1 sack today. Hank Fraley gets a game ball for me this time for the Lions offensive line. Jared Goff was not sacked today. Not sacked in Minnesota. How about that? Daniil Hunter, did we hear his name today? That O-line, despite the injuries and no Jonah Jackson and no Vaitai, Hank Fraley gets a game ball today. He's the only coach that's going to get a game ball, though, because this game was blown. It was lost. It was gagged away. 24-14. 10-point lead, 8 minutes to go. You've got to win that football game. You have to. In shades of last year when Minnesota won on a Greg Joseph field goal, Vikings do it this time with a 45-second left, 28-yard touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins to the Detroiter, KJ Osborne. Lions got the ball back, but they didn't have enough time. It was not going to happen. They weren't going to score a touchdown. And Dan Campbell, with all the macho and the bravado, and he's got the team together, he does. There's not a culture problem. The guy is a great leader of men. But today, questionable decision-making. Every 4th down, they're going for it. I know they converted, I think it was 6 out of 9. It's too much. Sometimes you got to make the smart play and utilize the weapon that is Jack Fox and pin the Vikings defense back. The Lions got away with a couple today where Joseph missed field goals. You got to be smarter than this. And at winning time, the 4th quarter, the Lions were shut out, 14-0. Winning time, shut out. That's our postcast for Locked On Lions on this, a Sunday edition, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for listening. We'll get you all the PFF numbers tomorrow. And if you can see on YouTube with the shirt I'm wearing, order being restored in the AL Central, folks. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.